Thanks for coming, guys. This is just to launch the new Fitzroy jersey for round 16 this year, and I want to welcome the two boys on behalf of the club and the playing group now. Two greats of the club to help me launch the jersey in Garry Wilson and Kevin Murray. Thank you for coming, boys, and just work away with your questions.
Oh, Kevin, what's it always feel like when you pull your Fitzroy jumper on? Although it's not the old Fitzroy jumper, but it's still the Fitzroy jumper, isn't it?
It's just magic, Tony. It's fantastic because I've wore it most of my life. But to be able to be part of the Brisbane Lions, to launching this new jumper with Garry and Pearce here, it's tremendous. Found the junction here. I used to have sleepless Friday nights when St Kilda played here because I used to have to mind Darryl Baldock all the time, and you could never beat the Docker, you know. And then we finished up playing here ourselves, and my father actually played in the 1944 Premiership here with Fitzroy won. Yeah. In those days the MCG was taken up by the Forces and they played the grand final down here.
A lot of great memories, isn't there?
Oh yeah, tremendous memories of some of the champions that we had, the Bernie Quinlans and Garry Wilsons and Johnny Murphys and Normie Browns, you know, great players, and we had a fantastic history, Fitzroy, and it's great to see that. I've said so many times, Tony, that the Fitzroy supporters that didn't follow the Brisbane Lions have missed out on a lot because we watched and enjoyed three magnificent premierships and all those fantastic footballers, you know, and Big John O'Brien. If he had been playing with Fitzroy in the 1940s or 50s, he would have knocked a few over in those days.
Pearce, how proud are you to be commemorating the club's Fitzroy heritage?
Yeah, it's massive for the boys. Obviously, we've got a proud history, and we're just happy to be involved in it. And like Bulldog said, it's got the vibrant red. So I think the old jersey was a bit darker, but I think that just shows how long the club's been around. So I think that was for coloured TVs, with the reason why it's so vibrant now. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. Round 16. I think there's a past players reunion as well, so the Roy boys will be excited about that, and hopefully the fans get out and support us because it's going to be a great game, and the boys are very excited.
How much have you schooled yourself in the history of the club since coming over from Ireland?
Yeah, obviously the two fellas here beside me, they've come and spoke to us before games, and it's always nice to have past greats of the club. Obviously you want to be one of them, so if you're not striving to be like these fellas, then there's no point being in football. But very proud and looking forward to it.
Kevin, do you get along to many games when they do play down here?
Not all of them, but I live about 120 mile away in the bush, so I enjoy coming down to the games because it's great to see all the new young kids, because you know you don't get to see them often, and some of them are just so promising. This young fella, when he came over from Ireland, look how he's progressed now. Now he'll be talking to players in years to come doing what Garry and I are now, you know, so it's just mighty to see the supporters of the Brisbane Lions embrace all these young fellows, because that's what the game's about. You know, you come and you go in this place, you know, in this world. As a matter of fact, just down the end there's a stand still named after me, the Kevin Murray stand, so I noticed nobody's pinched the plaque off the wall.
Gary, what's it mean to you when you pull the Fitzroy jumper on again?
It's great to be here today, Tony, with Pearce and Kevin. I spent my whole career here. When I was 16, I came to Fitzroy in the under-19s, and that was the first year Fitzroy started here. The following year I played 14 years with the seniors, and after I left, Fitzroy left as well, so I spent my 15 years at the Junction Oval. So to relaunch the vibrant red Guernsey here with Pearce and Kevin. Kevin was my first captain in 71, so Kevin captained me from 71 to 74. In 75 we had this vibrant red jumper come in for colour television, and it's great to be with Pearce because certainly he's certainly one of the players that I admire with the Brisbane Lions now.
Do you remember when the jumper changed over? Because it was a pretty big thing, wasn't it, to actually change colours?
It was. We had a couple of changes from memory. Back in the old, well, I used to follow South Melbourne when I was a kid. I grew up in Middle Park, and back in those days it was really the dark maroon colour, which Kevin would well remember. Then we had a minor change before we turned into this vibrant red colour for colour telly back in 75, and it's hard to believe we haven't had colour television longer than that. I was surprised.
What do you make of the jumper, Pearce? Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. It's had a great reception from all the boys. I think Squizzy Taylor was modelling it up in up in Brisbane, and Rocky had it on this morning. But yeah, we love it, and to celebrate the club's history and be able to wear it for a game, it's going to be very good. And I think it goes on sale in the Lions shop, and it'll be on sale at the game, so hopefully everyone can buy it as well and wear it with us on the day.
Gary, is it still heartwarming for blokes like yourself to know that the Fitzroy heritage just didn't die?
No, it's brilliant, Tony. I've always really been appreciative of the fact that the Brisbane Lions have adopted Fitzroy's history, and when you go up there, you're certainly welcomed in the club, and it's just fantastic. And I remember Bernie Quinlan and I went up there for the Ashes series many years ago, and Gubby Allen was the football manager, and he walked into the reception, and I quickly saw Bernie's and my photo up in the foyer there, and I said to the young girl, "Oh, it's Bernie Quinlan and Garry Wilson to see Graham Allen." She said, "Who?" I said, "There we are there." So that was great.
Good stuff. And I was going to ask also about do the players of today embrace? I know you said you embrace it, but is there still that sort of like Fitzroy feel about the place in terms of this is where we came from?
I think there always was, but I think this year's been a lot stronger. I think with having Lee on the board and Justin Lepage coming in as coach, we've had a lot of turnover of players the last few years and a lot of new faces, but the likes of Rockcliffe and Adcock and them boys and Daniel Merritt still around. We're still teaching the younger boys about it, and when they do hear from these fellas when we play games down in Melbourne, they love it, because I think there's 14 BNFs between them. There's all Australians, a Brownlow. It's just magnificent. So the boys definitely do like to study up on the history, and very appreciative of what they've done for the club.
And Kevin, what do you make of the current crop of Lions? Are they building something special at the club, do you think? Just square up a bit, Kevin, if you can.
Yeah, they've got a lot of promising young players, and I mean, it goes in cycles. We had a great run when the 3 premierships and played in the 4th one, and they're building up to something like that in the future, and it's just great to see. And you know, you've got to be closely associated with them to realise just how young they are when you look around them. And I can remember when I was a kid of 16, and Dormy Johnson and Butch Gale, they were the leaders of the club, and we were known as guerrillas in those days, and the opposition supporters used to call our players apes and morons. But I do say this, some of them did look like that, you know, they're pretty tough and rugged, but it's just great to be able to be part of it and see all these young kids. And I said a few weeks back that they will turn the corner, which they did do, and when they beat Carlton, then they beat Port Adelaide, and so that's given them a lot of confidence.
Pearce, good to be back playing footy for yourself. Obviously been out for a while before the bye.
I'm terrible at watching, even when we're winning. But when the boys were losing, sitting in the box, it wasn't easy. Just not being able to help. So definitely happy to be back. It was tough on the sidelines, but I've managed to get through the game and pull up well from the GWS game, and I can't wait for this weekend. I'm looking forward to it.
Encouraging to get a few players back as well.
And like Bulldog was saying, we do have a young team, and while that's not an excuse for how we played in some games, when you have so many of them on the ground at once, it makes it hard to get that consistency. But we do have a few more senior fellas coming back this weekend, which should help with our leadership, which will be very helpful.
What's your expectations of the midfield once you get all of your players back, with Rockcliffe to come back in the next couple of weeks?
In terms of in the future, or
how are you expecting it to perform when you've got everyone back?
I'm excited for when we got everyone back. I think we've got one of the best midfields in the competition, and once we get everyone in there and fit and firing, we'll show that.
You're almost in All-Australian form last year. Do you feel like you're sort of making up for lost time now this season, please?
Not really. While I haven't been able to play, I've worked on my leadership, and I've helped out with boys off field as well. So in terms of their games, and I'm just coming back, and like I said, we are a young team, so I'm just looking to help the boys around me. I played defence last week, and it was extremely young, but thought we stood up very well, and our boys showed a lot of promise. And you can just tell sometimes when it's tough, they put their heads down. So I'll just be there to make sure that doesn't happen, and that we keep going till the final siren.
And you must be taking confidence from the fact that you've beaten the Bulldogs, I think, 4 of the last 5 matches.
And they're still going very well. Their pressure's elite at the moment, so we're definitely going to be looking to match that, and we've got a game plan put in place, so we think that can negate that, so I'm looking forward to it.
It's been a pretty rugged start to the year for the club. Do you think you can turn things around in the second half with some players coming back as well?
Yeah, without doubt. Our training hasn't changed. Our intensity of training has been the best I've ever been involved at the club, and while it might not turn on the weekend or this year, but we're building towards something special in the next few years, and we can all see it, and just the weekend's the start of that.
What was your game plan when you coached, Kevin?
I remember one time we were on the bottom, we were playing Collingwood, who were on the top. Bobby Rose was their non-playing coach, and I said to big Russell Crowe, listen Russell, the only hope we've got to beat in this mob today is you've got to stiffen this bloke and that bloke and that bloke. So we went out in the ground and he forgot their names, but he just hit anybody, you know. Yeah, but we lost. No one wanted the coaching job when I took it over as playing coach. We lost 8 players that played 1,000 games between them. Our coach Len Smith had a heart attack, and we struggled. We picked up players from different clubs who were dropped off the list, and but the boys tried very hard, and it's the same as what happened to Carlton now at the moment. The boys tried very hard, but we just lacked that success and that experience and that knowledgeable way to win. As Pearce just mentioned earlier about the young boys, there's so many young boys in the team. Once those young boys get 50 and 60 games under the belt, it'll be a different story.